everybody. This is Morgana Starr, one of your fearless leaders here in Awaken Your Intuition. So, I always forget this until I get on that I need to jump on my phone to make sure I don't miss any of your comments because I would love to hear about you, any questions you have about your pets, maybe questions you have about developing your gift to be an animal communicator. Um, and I'll just share a little bit about what my story has been and how I became an animal communicator. Actually, I always was one. I just didn't know it was a psychic gift. I remember my parents saying that I could do things with animals that no one else could. Wild animals would come around me that wouldn't go around anyone else. Pets that were just like crazy would act differently around me. In fact, I just even had something yesterday. I was out walking with Neo, Dana's little precious child, and someone had a golden doodle, I believe, and she was just a little, she was a baby, but she was full grown. I mean, full size, probably a year or year and a half old. Hey, Silva, thanks for joining. And I guess she jumped on people a lot, but she didn't jump on me because immediately I knew how to talk to her to get her to stay calm, and she just rolled over on her back then. So understanding what's going on in your pet's mind means that you have to focus in a different way. I just lost my spot. Um, it's being an empath on a whole different level. And really, when I was thinking about this topic, something that I've just done naturally all my life, I thought, well, how was it that I was able to do that? Um, since I've been a child, I read and read and read about all kinds of animals. I mean, I would even get encyclopedias and just devour all the information about different dog breeds, horse breeds, cat breeds. They were the main ones, but also the rabbits, the chickens, everything. Um, any of the little critters on this planet. Um, and it just seemed like there was an affinity there. And I know a lot of you people, you're like, I like animals better than people. And the reason we like animals better than people is because they are honest. They are clear. They are, and dogs especially, and even cats, they have unconditional love. Now cats, I'm saying they have unconditional love, but cats are funny little fur people. They like to tell you off, and they like to punish you. My little Bashan, Athena, she's actually got a little bit of cat energy going on, and especially right now, because our dachshund, who's much older and turning gray, jumped off of something and hurt his back, which is normal for dachshunds, but it's really sad because poor little guy, he's at this point paralyzed his back legs. So we got him a little harness, and then because it just happened, and got him his little I said harness, but it's a back brace, so that he won't injure himself further. And then he got him a little set of wheels so that he can pull himself around, because he was pulling himself around without that. When I would come home, and he would just pull himself to the door all excited to see me. And what so we're outside, and Tim's filming Apollo with his little cuteness trying to work the wheels, and Athena's in the house having a freaking meltdown because how dare we pay attention to him because she's the queen of all there is. And so then she's trying to punish us by, I'm not going to talk to you, not going to look at you. It's also why I have my hat and made me have hat hair, so I'm wearing my hat still today because it's brutal out in the sun. So we were only out there maybe 5 minutes, but enough so that he peed and he was happy that he was able to be outside. But just him as an example, I could tell that, I mean, I knew he was in a tad bit of pain, but mostly he was depressed and confused. So I spent some time talking to him, letting him know, this is a new way of living. You're going to be fine. We're going to get you the help that you need so that you can have a quality life. Many of the rescues that I've worked with and I've had myself, try to get my hat so you can see my eye, they have a lot of issues from their past. And it's interesting to go in and hear their story. They just want to be heard. And many times after they're heard, they just, whew. I was working with this one dog that was actually a CNI dog. And he was having so many problems with anxiety going out because he got attacked by some random dogs that people didn't train and didn't have leashed. And he is a very, very gentle. He's a standard poodle, sweet, sweet little guy, or big guy actually. And so as I talked to him, it's all about this third eye thing. So I talked to him and found out that his biggest stress was he felt like when he's home, this was his mommy. But when he would leave the house, then she became his puppy. And that was his puppy he had to protect. And because of his training, he knew he couldn't hurt another dog, and he also couldn't protect his puppy. So we had to do some counseling with him and talk to him to explain how he should deal with that. And it was very fascinating as I was talking to him. All of a sudden, he just looked at me, took a deep breath, and then just plopped down. And was so relaxed then. And his mom just kind of like, wow. And then he started getting a lot better. And he wasn't so nervous going out. So he began to understand that mom also could take care of him. And she wasn't always his puppy. So it's just, you have to look at it differently. Get in the mind, the energy of that animal. And then don't second guess yourself as visions and thoughts come through your mind. Because that's the way spirit speaks to us. And they will tell us these things. And so the animals basically are, in many ways, more evolved telepathically than we are. So it's a telepathic connection with the animal so that they can be heard. And then sometimes it's you readjusting things. So if you've had an animal that is very, has been abused, and you go like this around it because you're all excited, and then you go like they're scared because they think you're going to hit it because that's what's happened to it in the past. You can start deprogramming him a little bit, but you can also learn don't do that around the animal. And then you can make it fun. You can go, oh my gosh, and then give it a treat. So then it'll associate a sudden movement with a treat, something positive. But that's the way their mind works. When we project our humanity onto an animal and think it's going to respond or act in a certain way that we would as humans, we're actually we're shortchanging our little pets because they don't think like us, which is part of why we love them. They don't have conditions on their love, and they need to know that you are basically, I know you guys have heard this, forever home, that you're going to keep them. You're not going to toss them aside. Had a few people when Apollo, our little dachshund, got hurt, they're like, well, you're going to put him down. I'm like, no, because he's still happy. He's trying to play ball. He takes his long little snout and he pushes the tennis ball to me so that I'll throw it, and I throw it close to him, so all he has to do is grab it. And it just makes him so happy, and even his little tail. So he's not totally paralyzed, but enough he can't use his back legs. So his little tails are going. and they need to feel that they're not throwaways. There's too many throwaways in this world, humans as well as pets. And just like, and again, I'm going to use him as an example. So, yeah, it broke my heart seeing him, especially the first time he came running to me with pulling himself to me, and seeing he couldn't use his back legs. But at the same time, I didn't show that to him. And I shifted my energy. And that's what we as healers have to do. We have to go above that. We can't stay in the sorrow, because if you're real sad, they're going to be sad. And it's so important that you learn to not feel that, or no, you can feel it, but you got to do it separate, and then you got to release it. You go, okay, I'm going to give him the best that I can give him, and that goes for any animal. They pick up on your feelings and your emotions. So when you're sad, they're going to be sad, and if you're wanting them to be happy, you need to be happy. It's a shift in your thinking and your process. I'm loving how these lights keep flickering. You guys seeing that? And then I'm getting really, really hot in here. So there's for me, heat is a angelic energy coming in. Anel comes in very hot, and it's a healing thing as well. Apollo, actually, he drug himself back here earlier. I was on a call with my students, and it was thundering, and he drug himself back here so I could, and I, of course, I stopped everything and picked him up and held him, and he just put his little head on my shoulder, because he's like a lot of dogs. They don't like the storm and have anxiety, and he has extra anxiety right now. Here's the thing about understanding how your pets are thinking. You have to get in their minds. You have to think like them. And it's a simple thought. They're not as complicated as we like to think that they are, or humans are. For example, one of my pets, my cat, he was having some issues, and so I let him go stay with a friend of mine. I was with a stupid guy, and I learned that lesson. Don't be with stupid guys. Anyway, so when I went to visit him at my friend's house, he was so happy to see me, but instead of just jumping on me, he wanted to show me where the food was. So he's just yelling at me, going, rah, 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 and then walking away and looking over his shoulder and hollering some more. And I knew he was saying, follow me, follow me. So I followed him, and he wanted to show me how much food he had. And he wanted me to know he was happy and he was okay, even though he temporarily had to go with my friend. If I could get rid of the stupid guy I was with. So listening on that deep level is really important, and then don't second guess yourself. That's part of the third eye thinking. If you're having any issues with your pets, I do readings in that way, either in person, over the phone, text, whatever you need, and also, and ones that have passed, we can get some messages from them. But more importantly, what I would love to see is for you to develop those gifts yourself. Dana and I have this course that we put together that's a transformational course, clears out your junk, and as your junk goes away, your energy is elevated, you go up to a higher realm, and then you're going to communicate with these beautiful little spirits, these angels of the earth that are here to help us. And again, I got to say this real quick, is it's so important that you do this, because our pets will take on our issues. I know somebody that, a lot of people, I've seen this so many people, but they'll take their pet around to see people because they want the attention of that their pet's getting, because they have this cute little dog, let's just say. And so they take it around, and the dog is trying to send healing energy to everybody. So they'll say, oh, my dog's just a healer. Well, you know what? Your dog's going to get sick, because your dog's picking up that energy, not just of you, but of everybody else. So you got to keep balance, and you got to feed the dog energy back. So that's why Reiki's really cool. Athena used to go to the store with me when I was in there a lot, and Tim was at work, so I didn't want to leave her alone. And she would be always giving out. So when she got home, we would just blast her with a lot of healing energy so she got recharged. So if you're pulling from your pet, and when you pull from your pet, what you do is like, oh my gosh, you make me feel so good. It's so good that you're coming to see me when I get home. It makes me feel so happy. Me, 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 me. Instead of, what can I do to help you? How can we be really good partners? Because they are here as partners. So you, it's not just giving them good food and taking care of their health, but it's also taking care of their spirit. Because dogs especially are one big walking heart chakra. And so we have to help them. And then as we help them, they help us. Many people, I know somebody else that has a dog, and he said, I rescued the dog, but the dog really rescued me. And so it was a very symbiotic where they're helping each other. And as that continues, it just gets better and better. So I love you guys, and Isodine, thanks for popping in. And we will talk to you again very soon. Have a good evening. Bye.